The world of man is gone, but life goes on. The animal kingdom wasted no time occupying our vacancy. Life boomed in the following years. There were species decimated along with man, and the monsters disrupted biomes everywhere. But for the most part, life went on unaffected by our fall. Maybe this was all for the best, in a way.
Overview for sample 616, Retroviral Acute Genome, E. Attending official, Dr. William Tregan. Sample 616 was initially discovered in the aftermath of the first outbreak in a small town in southern Alberta, Canada. Further investigation revealed its origin in a drilling rig oil field accident, see attached incident reports, as the first infections were among the crew and their families. Extremely contagious, it quickly became an international pandemic, and several areas had succumbed to the point of nuclear sterilization within 3 months of the initial outbreak. Sample 616 is revealed to be a prehistoric retrovirus hosted in a semi-mobile amorphous fungal base. Acting similar to a fast-acting cancer, the virus stimulates the growth of its host to simulate movement and seek out prey. When 616 comes into contact with higher life forms, the results vary. Surprisingly adaptable to new hosts, 616 will react to different biologies with different strategies. In most organisms, 616 will manifest as a respiratory illness leading to neurological symptoms as it travels from the lungs to the nervous system. Depending on the host, mortality will vary, but generally organisms expire within a couple months, rapidly decomposing into an organic sludge permeated with 616. Contact with this sludge should only be done with all safety precautions in place. See attached guidelines. In a minority of creatures, notably canines, the virus will also manifest with aggressive, rabies-like symptoms and a leprosy-like pre-fatal decomposition. In the 2 or 3 months until mortality, they are also fully capable of transmitting the virus. Infected canines will often show fast-growing tumors, filling with 616-filled biomatter. In humans, the virus will manifest the aforementioned respiratory infection progressing to encephalitis-like symptoms. In a portion of infected, 616 will also generate fungal masses in the lungs and brain that hasten death by stroke or cardiac contraction. Unlike in canines or other organisms, death in a human host doesn't result in rapid decomposition, but rather a return to mobility and limited neural activity in the lower brain. Upon death, cells will generate a pseudo-preservative substance that will actually slow the process of decomposition in the host, resulting in corpses that will stumble on long after they should be bare bones. Throughout the process of infection, fibrous fungal growth will spread from the torso to the limbs, possibly aiding in movement as muscle mass decomposes and becomes useless. Initial efforts to fight infection with specially configured nanotech gene therapy yielded unexpected results. Initially appearing to cure the infection, 616 had adapted to manifest in an entirely different way. Rather than rendering its host a mobile, virus-spreading corpse, 616 manifested transgenic qualities when infected hosts came into contact with other organisms with the original virus. The biomatter-filled tumors would instead manifest as oddly placed limbs and claws, with infected hosts becoming progressively more disfigured as the altered virus spread throughout their biology. Upon death, such altered hosts were subject to the more typical rapid decomposition of lower organisms, rendered down to 616-enriched biomatter. With key figures and personnel in secure placement, the decision was made to push ahead with mass distribution of the recombinant nanotech, despite it actually increasing an already frighteningly high mortality rate in service of the long-term depopulation agenda. Outside of the body, the raw biomatter resulting from a decomposed host organism is relatively easy to dispose of with antifungal chemicals, and ecosystems are projected to return to a more manageable baseline once the infection has run its course, with conscientious maintenance and treatment by drone aircraft. First part of 616 assessment report ends 1:18 p.m., November 19th, 2019.